Hey guys, welcome to the Soul on Fire show. I am super excited to be here today because we're going to go deep into the heart space. We're going to open up your heart. We're going to talk about understanding love. Since yesterday was Valentine's Day, we're going to talk about the vibration of love. We're going to talk about actually how it expands beyond you and how you tap into the vibration of love, how you tap into forgiveness, how you understand you through you, God and you through you. It's a magical episode, guys. Stay tuned till the end because we're going to do a heart opening. We're going to open up that heart space for you to receive more love, right? So love is giving and receiving. And so I hope all of you had a beautiful Valentine's Day yesterday. Mine was magical. It was just amazing and awesome. And I really love the vibration of love. I thrive in the vibration of love. Just I love on people and receive love. And I'm going to teach you guys how to do that today. So stay tuned for that. And thank you so much for being here on the live. Thank you for being here in the replay. For those that don't know me, I am Noelle Agape. I'm a health and wellness counselor. I'm an NLP trainer, a quantum energy trainer, and a shaman in process and finishing up my shaman journey. And we work in the quantum fields to get you to the highest version of yourself. We tap into your inner genius and we break you through any of your upper limits on the show. So stay tuned, guys, because we're going to go on this beautiful journey of love today. Thank you for being here. I cannot do this journey without you. So I'm so grateful to have you here. So what is love? Love is a vibration. It is not going there. And this is really important for me to do this episode this week, especially because a lot's been going on in my life. My journey, those that have been watching, my love journey has been beautiful and wonderful. I've had, very, very, very amazing relationships that have brought me to my highest level, and 4 massive relationships in my life, and 4 of them have changed me forever. So I love love because it allows you to be a mirror of what's going on. It's not about receiving roses or flowers or even a text message for that matter. It's really about a vibration. It's about giving and receiving. It's about understanding that it's a frequency. It's about understanding that love is a connection, right? Love is about connection. It is never about anything external. It is about an internal relationship with you, with God, source, universe, whatever it may be that you believe that is higher than you, a higher self. It is about having that connection of self-love. And that's what we're going to talk about today. Is we're going to talk about self-love. We're going to talk about forgiveness, deep into forgiveness, and understanding how forgiveness is such a key component to loving yourself and loving others. We're going to do an exercise at the end that opens up your heart. It's changed my life forever. I do this exercise frequently. It's about forgiving yourself and forgiving others. And that is one of the most important things you can do on the love journey, is radical forgiveness. And so, again, love is a frequency, and it's a very high frequency, actually. And anything when you're starting at the level of love and then anything above that, joy, bliss, enlightenment, that is actually when you understand that you're manifesting beautiful divinity in your life and you're in consciousness. You're not in ego. And we talk about this a lot on this fields. We work into the quantum fields very, very often. Today is going to be more about understanding frequency and understanding how to work with frequency and how to work with energy. I work with energy always. I'm a quantum energy trainer. I work in the, as a shaman, I work in the fields almost always. And so I say this on almost every show, but it's so important to understand, being in the electromagnetic fields, you can actually transmute your realities. You can actually transmute your reality right now as you speak. You're manifesting all day, everything, and all day, every day. There's nothing external that is not internal, not one thing. There is nothing in your external world that is not an internal belief, a pattern, something in your nervous system, right? So what we do at noelleagape.com and on the Soul on Fire show, not on just the show, but with my clients, we work with your nervous system. We work with the brain, that is the communication of the mind, that is your thoughts. And then we work with your body, which is your communication of your emotions in your body. We work in mind and heart coherence, bringing that into the quantum fields and understanding that there's an infinite field of possibilities that you can tap into, and infinite versions of you that you can be at all day, every every day. You get to choose who you are, where you want to be, what vibration you want to be. Everything is frequency. Everything is energy. I never work with people. I never work with, situations or circumstances in my own personal life, in my client's life. I teach my practitioners when they get through their certifications that it's not about the people or the circumstances, it's about the energy. You're working with the energy within inside of you, bringing that out to the world that comes back to you as your manifestation. Right. So when you understand that your heightened sense of thought and your heightened sense of emotion, the electro is the thought, the masculine energy is the doing, right? The thought, and the magnetic is the feminine, which is my favorite energy in the world, is receiving, right? So your heightened sense of thought and your heightened sense of emotion, Dr. Joe Dispenza sends us all the time, how you think and how you feel is how you're going to manifest your life. How does that pertain to love? Well, it pertains to everything in your life, but how does it pertain to love? How does it pertain to abundance? How does it pertain to self-love? This is the journey of self-love, guys. And when you understand that, when you understand that your soul has come here literally to experience and expand beyond where you are, it is your soul's mission every single day of your life to live in expansion, not in contraction energy. And that is the most important thing to understand, is that it is your soul has chosen to come into human embodiment, God in you, through you, to experience this life and to expand beyond the contracted energy. As we do that within, we change the outer world. As all of us come together as a collective and do the inner work, we heal our inner wounds, our inner child, right? Which is, 0 to 10. Your brain was malleable, and whatever belief systems you picked up, thoughts become patterns, patterns become beliefs, beliefs become your reality. Say all of these things every week on my show. Why? Because I have to reinforce it with you, that you have to understand that you are more powerful than you will ever know. It's God in you, through you, and it's a frequency. It's a vibration. You are energy. You are energy. You are energy. The 3D and the circumstances do not matter, because you create your reality. You are the law. In the law of assumption, it is everything is created already, and you get to tap into whatever version it is that you get to be. The version that I choose to be on a constant basis is love. The version that I choose to forgive is forgiveness, kindness, compassion, working in the fields as love, working in this world as a leader. I choose love. Is it always easy? No. Is it always, do you fall from grace? Yes. Am I always bubbles and unicorns? No. But you have to understand that you have literally a frequency that you're working with. When you open up your heart space to receive, you get to receive a beautiful destination, not just the journey, not just the final destination, but the journey in each piece is the destination. I'm going to say that again. The journey in each piece, in every day, in every decision is the destination. Meaning that the journey of love, the journey of self-love is, how much can I love myself more? How much can I take care of myself more? Be taking care of me and loving me and honoring me actually allows me to open up my heart and my frequency to be more in for my children, for my partner, for whoever I show up in. I will tell you this, guys, that my journey of love, if you looked at it in the 3D, you could say, oh my gosh, she's been through an insane amount of things growing up and understanding. Like, I was sexually abused. I had, an alcoholic father. That was a story that I was telling. My grandfather, who was my hero, rescued me from that space. Died in my arms when I was 15 years old. He was the love of my life, my whole life, right? So I had to heal my masculine wound. But now looking at it at 52 years old and doing the work that I do, it was the greatest gift that I've ever had in my life, because I found forgiveness. I found a frequency that I was never able to find. I had to go through the dark to get to the light and have beautiful relationships. I've been in 4 relationships in my life, long-term relationships. All of them were long-term relationships. The one that I just ended was only, almost a year, but other than that, 9 years, 3 years, 19 years, right? Those were my relationships in my life that have changed and transformed me. they were my biggest teachers. They were my biggest mirrors. They were showing me what my belief systems were that I had to change when I was a child, right? When I was a 6-year-old child, and I thought, I was abandoned or neglected. I had to work through that in relationship. That's love. When somebody loves you enough to show you your shadows and stand by you and say, I love you anyway. I forgive you anyway. I see you. I see all of you, because you are love, right? When someone is seeking love from an external force, they can never find love in the 3D at the highest frequency. Those that know me and understand me and have spent any moments of time with me will understand that spending time with me, when I'm very, very, very selective with my energy. I will not participate in lower vibration energies. I will not participate in lower energy. I will not engage in it. I will not participate in it. I will not give it any, because that was an old version of me that I had to. Did I at one time? Yes, of course I did. I think it was a journey that I had to go through the ego, through the wounded child, through the wounded teenager, through my ego, moving from ego to consciousness. Can I look at every one of my relationships and say, I love them from my soul? Absolutely. Because they have taught me, they have been the greatest teachers of my entire life. Was the men in my life, my children, my clients, everybody that brought me love, everyone that brought me what I thought was friction, right? Air quotes is friction, was really my greatest teachers, my soulmates, my people that show me. Now, so many people are like, oh, my soulmate, right? Yes, there is divine connections. Absolutely. Your soul comes through and says, and there are some connections that are undeniable. There are also connections that are just here to teach you, right? And I have spoken of this so many times. The seasons, the reasons are their lifetimes. The seasons come into your life and you feel so much joy, and they just bring you joy. And sometimes the season actually brings you a tremendous amount of trauma, but it is there to show you and teach you self-love and go within and find and experience that within you, so you can bring that out. And again, you're vibrating inside, and then it's what you emanate, and it comes back to you from that space, right? The seasons could be amazing, but most of the time they end very quickly, because the lesson is over. You have either gained the self-love that you needed, or you found forgiveness, or they taught you something in that journey, and then they go away. Right? Because the energy is fluid. And once you've learned the lesson and you choose not to remain in toxic energy anymore, it disappears. It goes away from you. And so from that space, you move into the reasons. Now, the reasons are really, really tough sometimes, because the reasons are the ones, and they are the true soulmates, right? The reasons are the true soulmates. They are, now I am a hopeless romantic, and I believe in divine connections. I'm going to get there in just a moment. Believe me, serendipity. I was hysterically crying the other night, knowing in my soul that my divine connections, on his way, my husband, my partner, my lover, my best friend, in every area of my life. And with that being said, the reasons are also soulmates. The reasons are your karmics. The reasons are the people that come into your life and show you and mirror to you exactly what is going on in your internal world, right? They are the ones that show you on this journey, hey, my love, God in you, right? Look, you're in abandonment, you're in rejection, you're in victimhood, you're in addiction, you're in things that should not be on this journey. Codependency, really low frequencies. Let's transmute that into a different higher frequency and live from that space. Then there's the lifetimes, right? And those that know me know that my lifetimes are my lifetimes, right? I have this saying that it's like ride or die. And my people that are my ride or die, I'm actually an incredible introvert. Now you're like, Noelle, you speak on stages all over the world. You have a TV show, you jump off cliffs for a living. And my greatest gift is when I'm quiet with God and me and God, and I don't get my energy from an external source. Like I go to conferences and I get overwhelmed. I'm amazing at it. And I shake hands and kiss babies and I pour love into people. But the reason why I'm so depleted when I come home is because I pour love into people, but I know how to manage my energy before I go. So the frequency of love and the frequency of my lifetimes, and this is what I've chosen because everything is your choice, your reality, right? You create your reality. It is 100%, 100% all you. The frequencies that I choose is that on the journey of my lifetimes, like I have a frequency standard, an energetic standard where it's like, no, 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 no. You have to show up this way because if you're not showing up this way, I'm actually going into a vibration that I'm not comfortable with. And so I don't choose to, if like I'll pour love into somebody, I'll pour love into somebody, but at the second that they show me that they're at a frequency that my old self was at, I choose and I say, well, no, it's not that person. It's me. I'm at this frequency. I'm at the frequency of anger, of anxiousness, of fear, of hurt, of anger, shame, whatever it may be. I have to go in and I have to figure out why I'm in, shame, guilt, fear, anger, hurt, sadness. Do I not feel worthy? Do I not feel good enough? Do I not feel safe, secure, and protected right now? Do I not feel lovable? Do I not feel whole and complete? I had a very crazy childhood, right? So that inner child sometimes screams at me and I have to go in and be like, no, 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 sweetheart, we're okay. We're good. That's the old version of us. We don't act like that anymore. We don't do that anymore. How we act now is we're an adult, right? We come from love. We find forgiveness. We see the good in the people. We see the lesson that they're showing us. Thank you so much for showing up that way because you showed me that I wasn't in my power. I'm going to seriously just to retract my energy from you right now. And my ego used to say, oh, I put people on pause because when I put people on pause, they're not acting the way I want them to act. And when I put people on pause now, it has nothing to do with them acting the way they want me to. I want them to act. It is the version of me that I'm choosing to be. And I actually put people on pause and disconnect for a very, very different reason from consciousness, not from ego, because I put people on pause because I have to go within and I have to figure out why I'm acting a certain way and that I'm manifesting what is coming up into my reality. Full spiritual maturity is taking accountability. Your ride or dies will always take accountability. Your ride or dies will always apologize. Your ride or dies will always show up for you. Your ride or dies because this is the frequency of your people that you're going to spend your lifetime with, right? Your lifetimes, my kids and my friends that are my best friends in the entire world, that I have amazing, amazing women around me, right? Amazing women around me. I could not talk to them for months and I could call them in the middle of the night and they would all be there for me, right? And it's a frequency. It's a frequency and that I choose. So through my journey of love and understanding the vibration and the frequency of love and everything, I manifest everything. Everything is me outpushed, right? Everything is me outpushed. I switched on this journey. And I would say the last couple of years, the last 2 years, the biggest growing period of my entire life, hands down, some decisions. You know, I stopped and I was like, this has nothing to do with them. This has everything to do with me. This year was a crazy, crazy journey with me for love, going back to some things that just were beautiful, but not my lifetime. And so I tapped back into energies that were very comfortable for my ego, very energies that were very comfortable for my support system. And then I came to a point where it was like, I love this human. I love this human, but this human's not my lifetime. And I'm investing my lifetime energies into this human that I tried to make my lifetime, but wasn't my lifetime. Very long time I spent with this human. And the more that I spent time with them when I was in a healed vibration, it was not trauma bonding. It was not from the wound. It was, oh my gosh, I love this human. I forgive this human. I'm so grateful that this beautiful soul has come into my life, but this person is not my lifetime. And it was such an awakening for me because it was my reason, very long time coming, learning this reason. But I had to find forgiveness and love in that space. But I saw him in a very different light than I've ever seen him before. He showed up completely different than he's ever showed up before. It was deeper and more committed than it's ever been before, but it wasn't my lifetime. It wasn't the vibration of the frequency of purpose and mission and enlightenment. And love is not just I love you. Love is self-love, looking at the 360 view of your life, of your purpose, of your passion, and saying, I love this human. That was the old version of me, and he is showing up completely different, but it is not serving my purpose or my mission anymore. Not serving me, but this frequency is not the frequency of my mission. It's to get as many people to break through their upper limits as they possibly can and save millions of lives. Not save millions of lives. I'll never say that. That's course correct, live on TV, but help and impact millions of lives. What I went through this year was divine love, right? And we're going to talk about that in the next segment, because we're going to take a quick break, and how I went from ego to divine love in 1 year, and found forgiveness within myself, found forgiveness for my past, found forgiveness for my wounded child, found forgiveness for my wounded teenager and my ego, and moved from egoic love to conscious love. We're going to talk about that in just a bit. Stay tuned, guys. We'll be right back. Hi, guys. Welcome back. Thank you so much for being on the Soul on Fire show. I am super excited to be here on Wednesdays, because Wednesdays I get to teach all of the information that I've ever learned to you guys. We are the student in one breath and the teacher in the next. And we are humble enough to know that we are learning every moment in every day, and growing every moment in every day, expanding in some way, and then teaching what you have mastered. So I get to teach to you guys on Wednesdays, which is such a beautiful gift to my soul. So today we're talking about love and the frequency of love, since yesterday was Valentine's Day, and we're talking about understanding egoic love versus conscious love. Massive, massive, massive difference in frequency. Massive difference in frequency. You are all energy. Everything is you outpushed. Normally, I talk about manifestation and how to manifest love and how to become love and how to do all that. Go to noelleagape.com. There's thousands of shows, not thousands, hundreds. There's hundreds of shows on, YouTube, E360, the Ruka channel, Apple channel, wherever we are, about understanding how to manifest. Today is actually just understanding going from your ego to consciousness, excuse me. And so understanding that when you're in the vibration of ego, that is what's going to manifest in your life, right? So what is egoic love versus conscious love? This is a very big topic. Most don't even understand this. Most don't even know how to love consciously. I'm going to say that again. Most people are not taught how to love consciously. Most people, it's not a familiar thing to understand how to love consciously. It's a familiar thing to receive monies and cars and gifts and affirmations and likes on Facebook and Instagram and the craziness of this society. The true love is peace. True love is calm. True love is a vibration of enlightenment. True love is a vibration of forgiveness. True love is a frequency. And we're going to talk about the difference between the ego frequency and the consciousness frequency. So the ego frequencies are fear, anger, hurt, sadness, guilt, and shame, big lowest frequencies, right? When you're living in those, it looks like anxious attachment. It looks like avoidant attachment. It looks like gaslighting. It looks like ghosting. It looks like neediness. It looks like blowing up people's phone, which I'm incredibly guilty of, right? I'm recovering anxious attachment, right? And understanding and learning through those process. Becoming secure is a higher frequency, a higher vibration, a higher understanding. Again, nobody's perfect. I'm going on this journey. I've been in 4 beautiful, loving relationships that I love these people from my soul. Are they my lifetimes? Time will tell with maybe one of them, but the others are definitely not my lifetimes. They are my reasons, my seasons, and my reasons and my seasons are literally, they have taught me more than I can ever imagine. So we will see what the frequency shows up as, because the more that you live in consciousness, your frequencies, you can change a season and a reason to a lifetime if you change the frequency behind it. Right? You can change the frequency of a season, a reason to being a lifetime if you change, or you could actually make someone your lifetime and stay in lower frequencies. It's really up to you. It's really, really up to you. So when you understand, guys, that love is a frequency, self-love is the highest frequency, and living in self-love with boundaries, living in self-love with non expectations of others, because everyone is you outpushed, but expectations of yourself, and living and honoring in who you are, God in you, through you. How can I love this person more than I have? How can I be better in love, even if this person needs space and they need just to be friends? How can I be in forgiveness? How can I not be in the victim? This is one of the most important things I'm going to teach you guys today. Victimhood, to me, is the wounded, right? You're living in your wound. Anytime you say, this person did this to me, I did this because, and it's not my fault. That's not accepting accountability, nor is it spiritual maturity. You are victimized, but it is your responsibility to work through that wound to become a conscious person, a conscious human being. And when you understand that like 90% of society lives in victimhood, and when all the time, the biggest thing that drives me the most crazy is people who say, it's not my fault. Yes, it is your fault, because honestly, you have created it. You have created being a victim. Are you going to choose to stay in that space, or are you going to choose to heal beyond the victim, right? It is such a different level of consciousness when you take accountability. Accountability is one of the highest versions of spiritual mature love, right? I am sorry. I was actually not a very good human to you, because I wasn't a good human to me. So I didn't know how to love myself. So the only thing that is not your fault, was that you weren't taught how to love. It's not that it's not your fault of how you acted. You get to actually change how you act. You get to actually change your vibration and your frequency and your emotions. And you get to do the work, working with your nervous system, working with your mental body, your physical body, your emotional body, and your energetic body, and be responsible and say, I created this divorce. I'm responsible for that. I forgive you for acting this way. But even more so, it feels good to forgive me for accepting that behavior. I was not in self-love, right? And so many people, and this drives me so crazy, is so many people in the healing space are teaching the wrong thing and saying it's not your fault. That 100% wrong, 100% wrong. It is, you manifested it. What wasn't your fault was you being 10 years old and you being victimized, you being 5 years old, you being 13 years old and being victimized. What is your fault is that you're still maintaining that vibration, and that's still that frequency. Period. 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 What is your fault is that you're still remaining in the frequency of the victim, right? You're a grown ass adult. Everybody on this channel, this is 18 plus, everybody on this channel is an adult. Take accountability. Even if you're under 18, take accountability for your responsibility, your vibrations, your actions, your emotions. Heal your inner wounds. And I know that I'm getting a little heated, because it's the truth. It's at some point, stop enabling. Like, healers are enabling people by telling them it's not their fault. Reframe that. It was not your fault when you were victimized, but it is your fault that you're still remaining in victim. You're an adult. You have to take accountability for your actions and your self-love. It's a big difference. That's spiritual maturity. That's consciousness. When you understand that you could stop and say, it's not my fault, it's their fault. That's victimhood. That's blame. It's easier to blame than accept accountability. That's ego. That's egoic love. That's not conscious love. Wait a minute. I was victimized. I mean, I have been victimized, right? I was very victimized as a child. Am I a victim? No. Oh my God. Where do I need to be in forgiveness? Where do I need to be in love? How am I showing up in this situation right now? How am I actually not living from consciousness? How am I living from my wound and my victimhood? How can I raise my vibration and raise my frequency and understand? So if you're a healer and you're telling anyone it's not their fault, please just reframe it and say, it wasn't your fault, but it is your responsibility now at this point to change it. And if you're not a healer and you're just somebody taking, going into self personal development, understand and know it wasn't your fault when you were victimized, but it is your fault now because you're still in that vibration. And you continue to be in that vibration as a victim because it's easier to stay in victim than do the inner work. It is not an easy journey to be in conscious love. Every single day of my life, I have to choose to be in conscious love. Every single day of my life, I have to choose forgiveness. Every single day of my life, I have to choose God in me, through me. How would God view that person? Right? Am I human? Do I fall from grace? Of course. Of course. Do I take accountability for everything? Do I apologize? Always. Do I lean back when I need to lean back? Sometimes do I still get anxious because that was my journey, because I was abused, I became an anxious person. Yeah. Do I give myself beauty, strength, and grace? Yeah. One of the most important things I can ever teach you guys is self-love comes from spiritual maturity. Period. It was not your fault, but it is your fault now because you're an adult. Take responsibility for you, for your love, for your actions, for your life, for your finances, for your health, for your children, for your legacy, for your purpose in this world. When you live in consciousness, it's God in you, through you. Do you fall from grace? Of course, we're still all human. I still this week had to pause and be like, whoa, that's my old behavior. 3 days ago. Whoa, that's my old behavior. Why is that coming up again? Why am I triggered right now? Okay. I see that. How am I viewing this person? I am viewing this person in the same way for the reason why we broke up. How can I view this person differently? Oh, okay. I have to look at them. I have to change the story. I have to do the revision in my mind, in my heart, in my soul. I have to do the revision. There's a different version of that person that I'm going to see. I'm going to see the greatest, highest version of that person because I know they see me as the greatest, highest version. And I'm going to show up differently this time. I'm going to lean back. I'm going to go back into my power, right? You get to do that. You get to course correct all day, every day. You get to course correct all day, every day. You get to reframe your words that are frequencies. You get to reframe your emotions that the way you think and the way you feel will change your manifestations. You get to change the way you think about something. You get to revise stories. You get to go in and tap into a different frequency of a different vibration of a different version of you and a different version of that person, right? You get to live in forgiveness, which is such a beautiful gift. Now, if you can't get to forgiveness, again, if you're in a space where you can't get to forgiveness, please seek out professional help. There's tons. We have practitioners on noelleagape.com that are completely certified. I have 20 years of experience as a counselor, a quantum energy trainer, an NLP trainer. We can help you. If you can do it through meditation, through breath work, through eating and exercise, and that's amazing on your own. But get help and understand and know knowledge is everything. Knowledge and awareness will change your life and it will change your frequency. I am so aware of my frequency all day, every day. Now, was this one of the greatest years of my life, 2022? It was. Has the past couple years of my life been really challenging? There have been massive, massive things that have come up in my life. Did I need to revisit the old wounded child and the wounded teenager to heal some old karma? Yes, I did. And then, next week I'm going to go into talking about the karma and the dharma, the understanding the energy of the wounded masculine and the wounded feminine and what that looks like, and the energy of the divine masculine and the divine feminine, which all of us have. We don't talk sex. This is energy. You all have masculine and feminine energy within you. Using your masculine energy in a divine way for action, motivation, for stability, for structure, for being grounded. Your intuitive energy to be creative and playful and intuitive and merging those two together in love and in life. Forgiveness, right? Receiving, giving, even exchange of energy, heart flow, knowing and understanding that every one of us have been wounded. Every one of us have been victimized. Every single human on this planet. And it is our responsibility to see things in a different vibration, talk differently, act differently, heal our emotional wounds, go into and heal our nervous system, heal our mental and physical body. And if you don't, what will show up is egoic love, right? The tests, the reasons, the things that God will never come down to your ego. So what will show up in love won't be divine. It's all divine, actually. Excuse me. I'm going to reframe that. What will show up in love will feel toxic. It will feel challenging. It will feel like struggle. Divine love, whether it's a lifetime or not, is a choice. It is seeing a human being, including yourself, in a higher frequency and allowing yourself to love and receive love at that highest frequency. One of the greatest gifts that you can do is go on a journey of radical forgiveness. Radical forgiveness is writing down and seeing everything that the wound is trying to teach you. Go into the wound of the child. How old is that child? Is that 6-year-old ruling a 46 or 54-year-old life? Right. Go in. Talk to that inner child. Now, go from, it's not my fault, to, I'm taking accountability. It wasn't my fault. Big difference. It wasn't my fault when I was 13 years old. But it is my fault now. Because now I get to choose, and now I get to change, and now I get to be responsible. I get to forgive. I get to not be in the victim. Let's talk about being in the victim for a little bit before we go into forgiveness. Being the victim is really easy. Blaming someone else is much easier than taking accountability. I'm going to repeat that. Blaming someone else is much easier than taking spiritual accountability for you staying in that vibration. It is not an easy thing to understand that divine love, spiritual maturity, love at a highest level doesn't come from you. Love at the highest level allows love through you out to the world. When you understand it is your responsibility to be spiritual mature, it is your responsibility to heal your old wounds. It is your responsibility to work with your nervous system that didn't feel safe, your mental, your neural net pathways, reform them, to change your body, to change your mind, to change your energy, to change your emotions. It's your responsibility. Again, if you don't know how, that's okay. All you need to do is the want and the desire to be better. You can go to noelleagape.com. I've said it 100 times. You can go to YouTube. There's thousands of people that can help you for free or not. I have 5 mentors that have helped me through my journey. I have 5 women that are my core lifetime that have been through everything with me. They have a 360 view of my life. They call me out when I'm not being in, when I'm in my ego, when I'm not being in consciousness. My children, right? My relationships with my children is the greatest it's ever been in my life. Why? Because we're conscious with each other. We don't allow each other to sometimes we're in our ego, but every relationship that's my lifetime, every relationship that is my lifetime is high frequency. I'm going to say that again. Every relationship that I choose to have in my life as my lifetimes are high frequency. I will not accept any lower frequencies anymore because that is the wounded version of me. That is the victim. That is the one that was victimized. I have a choice. I have a choice to not be in that version of me anymore and to not be in that frequency anymore, to forgive with all of my soul. And if I can't get to forgive, at least get to acceptance. Right? Knowing and understanding this will change your life. I am saying this not from ego, from consciousness. I love me more than I've ever loved myself in 52 years. I am my favorite human on the entire planet. I am not kidding you when I say I am completely in love with me. I am in love with who I am. I am in love with what I'm doing to the world. I'm in love with my clients. I'm in love with my kids. I'm in love with my home. I'm in love with my life that I have consciously created from a high frequency. I will not allow anyone or anything, not anyone or anything, to pull me into a different frequency, because I fall from grace and then I lean back and I say, no, 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 no. That's an old wounded version of me. That was the version of me that didn't have a choice because she was so young and she didn't know any better. And that's how she was choice. I am 52 years old and I have 20 years of experience in this. I'm going to take accountability for this. I'm going to show up differently. I'm going to treat people differently. I'm going to love from my soul so much with boundaries. I'm going to love from my soul with boundaries. And if you're my lifetime coming from within to out, you're going to show up with the highest frequency. And sometimes you're going to show up in the lower frequency. And I'm going to pause and I'm going to stop and I'm going to say, wait, that's my frequency. I got to change that. I have to see that person in a different light. I have to love them. I have to forgive them. I have to pour love into them right now. And I have to detach. That is spiritual maturity. Forgiveness on that journey is the most important thing. We're going to do a really cool thing to open up your heart. Stay tuned, guys. We will be right back. Hi guys, welcome back. Thank you so much for being on the Soul on Fire show. I am so blessed to be here on this journey with you. We are talking about the frequency of love and understanding loving from consciousness, not loving from ego. Understanding that you were a victim at some point, but you were victimized, but you do not have to choose that. Understanding that you get to live in your past, and you don't have to live in your past. You can live in your future, or you can live in your present energies. And knowing and understanding that how important it is to take accountability for you, and understanding that it is your responsibility how everybody shows up in your life, how you love in your life, how much self-love do you have, how much are you living God in you, through you, how are you living consciously every single moment of every single day. I promise you this, guys, when you love consciously, it is the most blissful, joyful love you will ever experience. Am I in a relationship right now? Actually, I just ended a relationship, very beautiful, beautiful soulmate relationship that I just ended, but it was not meant to be. But I am more in love with myself than I have ever been in my entire life. I am more in love than I've ever been in my entire life. I'm going to say that again. I am not in a relationship. I am single, and I am more in love than I've ever been in my entire life. I'm in love with love. I'm in love with my kids. I'm in love with myself. I'm in love with my life. I'm in love with my job. I'm in love with my clients. I'm in love with you, right? Nothing, not one person can come into my life and ever take that away from me. My happiness, my love, my joy does not come from out there. It comes from up there. I am in love with God. I am in love with the energy of love. I am in love with the consciousness. I am in love with life. I'm in love with me. And I have nothing or no one that can come in and take that from me, because that's a part of me. How did I get there? How did I get from going from being sexually abused and having a really crazy father wound and a grandfather wound and all of these masculine shields to being in love with life and in love with love? and in love with me. How did I find self-love? Forgiveness, accepting accountability, spiritual maturity, right? This is the biggest heart opener that I can ever teach you, ever. I am so joyful to forgive this person. That's a really hard statement, and I'm going to tell you why it's so hard. I had to do this over and over and over again until I actually forgived every single person that has ever hurt me, because I was radical forgiveness. And then I had to come back and I had to forgive the situation and circumstance. And then I had to forgive myself. Radical forgiveness changed my life, led me to consciousness, led me to consciousness. I was victimized. It was not my fault. Today, it is my fault. What shows up in my life is my fault today, because I get to choose. I am a conscious creator. I manifest consciously. Forgiveness was really hard. Guys, now, I was 6 years old, sexually abused by my neighbor for a year, who was 13 years old. My father was an abusive alcoholic. I mean, I watched, my mom in tears often. My grandfather, who was the love of my life, I danced on his feet at the resort. He picked me up and swung me around and said, you're a princess now, but someday you're going to be a queen and a goddess. Know that. He died in my arms. My masculine wound was there was a wall. No one could come in. My heart wasn't open. I couldn't receive. I was in ego. I was in victim. I was completely shut down. I would get to a certain point, 19 years in a marriage, not 3 years in another relationship that was, I thought, the love of my life. 9 years in another relationship, and then a beautiful, soulful relationship, getting to the point where it was of the highest level, almost to commitment. I would shut down and I would run, because it scared the crap out of me, because I wasn't safe to love me, right? I found out the secret. I fell in love with me over the last 2 years, with forgiveness. And I'm going to start crying, because this journey for me is so beautiful, because I get to teach it to you guys. Forgiveness is not for the other person. It is for you to not say, it's not my fault. To say, wait, it is my fault now, because I'm still in victim. I'm choosing consciousness. I'm choosing consciousness, not ego. It wasn't my fault, but now it is. I'm choosing consciousness. I'm choosing forgiveness. Guys, I am telling you, I went through every single relationship, every single person, every single circumstance, radical forgiveness. And I was like, it feels so good to forgive this person. And at first I was like, I'm going to be honest with you. Like, I don't want to curse, but I was like, F this. This does not feel good. And I was trying to convince my subconscious that it was real. Then I paused and I prayed and I connected and I opened my heart and I allowed the heart, and I went into the pain and I went into the wound of my 6-year-old child and my 15-year-old wounded child. And I went into those wounds and I felt them. And I saw the story of what I was telling, of my life living a victim. And I said, wait, that's the frequency. What is the vibration? Fear, anger, hurt, sadness, guilt, shame. All of it came up. All of it came up. What was the emotion? That was the emotion. So that was my program running in my mind. Wait, what is the core belief that's blocking me? I'm not worthy. I'm not good enough. I'm not safe, secure, and protected right now was mine. I'm not lovable. I'm not whole and complete. All of it. The safe. I didn't feel safe to love. My nervous system didn't feel safe to love. I went into my nervous system. I did breath work. I did, the neural net pathways. I worked in my energetic fields. I reprogrammed my sacred geometry. I rewrote my story. I scripted. I literally visioned. I revised that story. I went in and I had a conversation energetically with my father, who has passed away, and my grandfather, who has passed away, and the abuser, who has passed away. I had energetic conversations with them of forgiveness until it felt like I could release it. I did insane amount of work internally to say this. There is no one, not one person, not one thing that will ever show up in my reality that is not me. My children, my lover, my house, my partners, my business, my everything is a reflection of me. And when I finally got that, it's not your fault. It wasn't my fault. I had learned to love in a really toxic way and had a massive masculine shield. It is my fault now, because now I'm creating consciously. Now I'm choosing differently. Now I'm becoming a different vibration. Now I'm forgiving. And I will tell you, the hardest thing I've ever had to do in my life was look somebody in the eye and tell them and be honest with them in the past couple of weeks. I had to say something to somebody that I love tremendously. That was the hardest thing I've ever had to say in my life, but it was not the frequency of my future. It was the frequency of my past, and I had to let it go. It was the frequency of my past and the old version of me that I will not connect to anymore. And it was the hardest thing I've ever had to say. Going in, I could forgive my dead father. I could forgive my grandfather who's passed away. I could forgive my abuser who's passed away. But the person that was standing in front of me with tears in their eyes, I had to look in their eyes and tell them something. That was my past vibration. That was my fault. Wasn't my fault. I created that relationship from a wound. This space, my future, my lifetime, my ride or dies, they don't have any space for that wound. That wound is not the same version of me. I will not go back to the version of me. I did go back to the version of me, and I dip in every once in a while to the old version of me, and I stop and I pause and I say, that's a version of me that I don't even want to embrace anymore. It is my fault. It's my fault because every day of my life, I get to choose consciousness. Every day of my life, I get to choose my power. Every day of my life, I get to choose self-love. Every day of my life, I get to choose God in me, through me. Every day of my life, I get to see that person, forgive that person, get to acceptance, and move on to a different frequency that is growth and expansion. Take a pen and paper. Write down everything that has ever hurt you. Find the emotion, fear, anger, hurt, sadness, guilt, or shame. Find the core belief. I am not worthy. I'm not good enough. I'm not safe, secure, I'm not safe, secure, or protected. I'm not lovable, or I'm not whole and complete. Find it in your body. Are you storing it in your nervous system? Are you storing it in your neural net pathways, or your thoughts, or your emotions around it? Be aware of your wound. Don't stay in your wound. Your wound's there to teach you not to be victim. Your wound's there to teach you not to live in victimhood. Go into your wound. Heal your wound. Heal your nervous system. Find safety. Find love in you. Find love and forgiveness in you. That's the final piece to this. You go in, you have a conversation with your inner child. You go in, you have a conversation with every single person you have to in your mind's eye, in your imagination. And then you go in and you write the story. You literally rewrite that story, and you see the story and you say, I'm no longer choosing that story. I will never choose to be in that vibration again. You will dip back in sometimes when you're in the middle, but you become a different version of yourself. You actually energetically, you write and you script and you visualize until you become the version of you that loves you so much, because it's God in you, through you, that you can look at somebody else and you could say, I understand where you are. I love you and I honor you. And maybe you'll be my lifetime, but this is where the frequency I choose of my lifetime is love and above. The frequency I choose for my lifetimes are love and above. Does that mean that everybody in my life has to show up as love and above frequency all day, every day? No, it means I'm going to love you. I'm going to forgive you. I'm going to find love in everything. And I'm going to see you and this situation in a different version of me, because I create my own reality. I'm a conscious creator, me and God, God in me, through me, out to you. Choice all day, every day. Does that mean that people will leave your life. Yes, it will. Not everybody is meant for your lifetime. Not everybody is meant for your lifetime. Season, reason, lifetime. Ego versus conscious love. You can live in your ego and you can have lifetimes and seasons and reasons in your ego. How's that working out for you? Just saying. It is not an easy journey to be spiritually mature. The world needs you and your power more than ever. It is conscious choices after conscious choices after conscious choices after conscious choices after conscious choices. You fall from grace, you rise. You fall from grace, you rise. You let go of the wound. You let go of the victim. You understand that it is your fault today, because everything that shows up in your reality is because of you. It is you outpost. Now, was it your fault? No. Is it stored in your nervous system? Yes. Is it stored in your neural net pathways? Yes. Do the work to heal that so you can live a life where you look in the mirror and nothing. It's about me and God. God's going to show up for me every single day because I expect God to show up for me every day, because my expectation is that I'm in the vibration of love or above every single day. All day, every day. Spiritual maturity. Forgiveness, acceptance first, forgiveness. Write down everything that hurt you. Find the emotion, find the core belief, go into your nervous system, do breath work, do the inner work. Again, if you need to, you can go to noelleagape.com. I'll put it right here. We have tons of free things that work with your nervous system, your neural net pathways, your body, everything. Everything. If you want to change your life completely, work with us individually, or come on our retreats. We're going to Costa Rica in April. We change massive lives in the process. The best version of you is waiting for you. Conscious love is beautiful love. Every single relationship I have ever been in is beautiful because they have taught me. Was it a frequency of consciousness? Not all the time. Do I choose conscious love on a daily basis? Always. God in you, through you. You are more powerful than you'll ever know. I'm telling you guys, life is a journey, but it's also a choice. Everything in your life is a choice. Choose consciously. Think consciously. Be conscious. And your life will change. You are magnificent. You are light. You are the love, and it is all within inside of you. I have 5 mentors that have helped me get to where I am today. Don't do this alone. Get support where you need it. I promise you, the greatest version of you is waiting. God will never come down to your ego. God will show you that you are love, you are light, and you are powerful than you ever know. There is nothing outside of you, not one thing. It is your fault. It's you accept accountability today to change your life. It wasn't your fault, but it is today. Change your life. Change your energy, change your thoughts, change your emotions, change your manifestations, and change your life. I love you guys, and I see you, and I believe in you, and I know that this journey is not easy, but I know it is all inside of you. I love you, and I will see you in the next video.